we bought this RV, we didn't know better, and we didn't look at the year of the tire, and the tire was already like 7 years old, and we still drove it, even like to 9 years old. And nothing was wrong with the tread. It was just the sidewalls were starting to crack from the sunlight. Was drying out the rubber, so it was starting to crack. And there's actually a standard for that. You're supposed to put a piece of paper in the crack, and if it goes down a certain distance, then it's too much. So, and you know what? Even that varies from garage to garage. So you basically have to do your homework and check with like the Michelin people and see what they say. So what we did was we decided we were going to make our own covers. Now we had seen a lot of different covers. We've seen ones, the first ones that we made ourselves were like wrap around the tire cover, and we had straps in behind that held the cover on the tire, and that we gave those with the RV that we sold because these tires were bigger anyway. And we've seen the best ones we've seen were this like a curtain. Right, it was like a blind, and you could pull it right down to the ground, and they had hooks in the ground, and it looked beautiful. But I'm not sure I would leave that in the storage area and all that stuff, and I'm not sure how it would handle wind. And anyway, so we looked at a lot of different types and everything, and we've decided to make our own type. So Catherine's going to tell you, okay, Catherine made her own type, and I'm just going to be the guy who puts the holes in here and the threads and the screws and stuff. So she did all this work, and she designed it all, and I hope it works good. We're about to install them. So now she's going to tell you a little bit about this.
Okay, hi, I'm Lou's wife, Catherine. First of all, I had to make a paper pattern because these suckers are really big. So I started by measuring from the ground to the top of the wheel well, which came to about 39.5 inches long. And then the width of the wheel well was 39.5 inches wide. So then I had to, I took a piece of paper, it was about 45 inches wide, and I marked 39 inches down and 39 inches around. And I found the center of that piece of paper, say if this was the center, and I attached a marking pen to the top of it, and I did like a circle, marked a circle, marked this circle onto the piece of paper. It needed some adjustments when I cut it out, but when I came here I made the adjustments because it's not a perfect circle, it kind of goes oblong. Okay, so what I did, so here's what I made, and I made it so it has an edge to it so I could attach the domes. So Lou's going to screw in some domes here, and then these are going to, whoops, wrong side out. These are going to punch up into there, and you won't even see. This is how it's going to hang. If I can get the center here. It's going to hang just like that, so you won't see a divot. Like he wanted to hang it like this. And I didn't want to see the fabric, and I didn't want to see the domes. So I made it go like this. So all we're going to see is the fabric. And I tried to get it match the RV as best I could because they don't sell too much here in Canada, where I could find anyways. So I also so this is where the wheel well stops. So this will hang straight to the ground. And I put in some anchoring straps, so if it gets windy we can anchor it into the ground. Yeah, oh yes. And I also made a tube along the bottom here so we can fit in a rod to give it some weight. So when it's hanging, it's going to look great. Thank you. So what first I did to determine where to put the domes, I folded it in half. Found the halfway point all the way up. And I marked a spot right there. Then I determined how much. I knew I was going to put 7 domes on this, 1 in the center and like 2 all the way down. So I determined the length of the circumference of this half circle, and then I divided, and it came up to 10 3/4 inches between each dome. So I don't have any extra fabric, and I have an extra dome which is not silver, it's black, but this is how I put the domes in. But we're going to pretend this is fabric. What I did is, where's my knife? I don't have a knife. I took a knife and I put a hole, just punctured this is very thick because it's two layers, two thicknesses, and so I put the cap in the bottom right here, and this I laid over top of this little dome thing. I pushed the tube up through this fabric. This is the wrong one. Oh well, this is the wrong side. Anyway, we put this on here, and we take this.
You don't have to do it.
Yeah?
You don't have to do it. So.
Okay. Anyway, so it's hammered. It's done.
Hammered till when?
Huh?
When do you know to stop hammering?
When the inside, this little, there's like a little tube on this, and when you put the little dome receiver over top, when you hammer it, it's this, where's this thing? It's got a little thing that makes it, the top spread out and curl over. So the whole, around the whole circle will go like this, and it'll hold on to this piece so it won't come off. Yeah, mushrooms it, curls it around and holds it in place. So there's two pieces here that's going to hold on to the dome that we're going to insert into the RV. I'm going to click in like this.
Okay. Okay, so Catherine's going to take a measurement from right where the wheel well sort of curves in. She's going to take it all the way around to the other side. And we've already done this. It's really better if you use this kind of measuring tape. It's seamstress measuring tape over the straight measuring tape because it doesn't bend as well. Okay, so it's too hard to use. So she uses the seamstress one, and then she just pushes her thumb along as she goes to keep this measuring tape tight to the wheel well. And she gets that. Okay, let's assume that we've done all that. So she did it all, and we got 71 inches, and then we divided that by 2, which came out to 35.5. And then she measures from one side 35.5 to get to there, and we have our marker, right? And she just marks at 35.5. And then we got to measure the distance inside where you want the domes to be.
But from where it's going to hang, this is going to hang flat.
It's 1 inch.
It is 1 inch.
Here we go. I'm gonna. She's marked it. I don't know which mark she's looking at. I think it's the darker one.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm going to take a drill, and I'm going to drill a hole. There we go. Too easy. And then I'm going to grab one of these screws.
Show them the screws.
So this is a screw for the dome. Okay, so the way I determine the drill bit size is I just try not to make the drill bit bigger than the threads. So I'm trying to make this tight. So I don't want to be too big or the threads won't be tight. Too small, you might crack this. So there we are. I'm ready to screw this in. Here we are, solid. Now we're ready to test the fabric. Okay, we're ready to test the fabric now and see if it clicks on. Yeah. There we are. Okay, so what Catherine did is she took the fabric and kept it tight across here as she measured down, so that later, like right now this is going to be loose, but we think we're going to shove like a fishing pole kind of rod that's flexible in the fabric to keep the fabric tight against here. Not that it's important, because the whole point of this fabric is just to keep the light off, right? But we don't need it catching the wind either, right? We don't need that. Okay, I think I'm going to have to use a little bigger drill bit. I don't like the way it just started cracking there. Okay, so there we are. Dome's clicked in. See, so there's looseness here. So we're going to get a pole that flexes and take it through there. We decided to change our minds. We didn't like these domes sticking out. And also we would have had to put a support in this because it would start looking kind of ratty with big gaps here. So yeah, we didn't want these big gaps. So what we did was we went to the hardware store, many hardware stores, and we got rid of these ones that we were using, the self-screwing with the little, you know, Phillips head on the end, and we went with these ones, which are just a blank, right? And you can put a screw through here, the nut or whatever. And we thought about that, so then we thought again, and I said to my wife, I said, why don't we go with rivets? And she goes, well, I don't know how to use rivets. So I said, well, I know how to use rivets. So then we had to hunt around for the right rivet. Now this is a 4mm hole, and we found a 4mm rivet with the exact same length that we need. So when this rivet, like you see I've done one already, it's flush, so you can't even see it. So we're going to put the rivet on the inside, or the dome on the inside with the rivet on the outside. And when it's on the inside, the rivet just sits perfect like this, just perfect. So I'm ready to do one. So I'm going to take all these off, and we have to drill the hole bigger. So it's a 4mm rivet, which means we have to put 4mm hole here. So I'm going to take all these out, and then we're going to just drill them all out. It's so easy to do. So I've got the drill. Just drill these out. Okay. Okay, this is my pop rivet gun. So originally this was in here. So all you do is there's this tool that comes with it, and you remove the top part, and remove the one that fits. So you just check it with this to see which one the nail part of the rivet goes into, and this one here was the best one, so I took it from here, put it in here, and now I'm ready to use this. So the way it works is each time you ratchet this down, it pulls the end of this nail through the rivet and it spreads it open until eventually the nail gives up and it just pops. So I'm going to put this through here, right, and I'm going to place this on the back here. On the dome is on the back. And I'm just going to start. I've got it tightening already.
Okay.
So I wonder if I can do this without popping the rivet. Yeah, okay, so the rivet's really spread open. It's tight. Oh, this one's good. This one's good. Okay, I'm going to just drill this out because this is a mistake. Okay, that's how you redo it. And don't touch the rivets, they're hot. Okay, so I'm afraid I can't use this dome because it's been damaged. The hole is no longer round. Said I drilled this out, broke for some reason. I'm going to try it again, but I'm not going to be so aggressive with the rivet gun. Put it in there. Okay, I can feel it getting snug. Okay, that one's good. We'll clip this on there. And clip this one on. Good. There we go. Very slowly. Good. Okay, so can I give it a shot? How are we going to click this in? Like this? Still got the wheelbarrow? Okay, so we learned a lot of lessons in the first tire, and it looks great, by the way. So the rivet, in some cases, not always, changes the shape of the dome. So what we've learned is that we're not, because the dome doesn't go flush, you see the bottom of the dome is indented. So what I'm going to do, and what we've been doing, is I'm going to rivet this, but I'm just going to rivet it until I feel it really snug. And then I'm going to use a hammer and I'm going to pound on this and get the rivet to pop out. So what happens is when we try to do the last bit of the rivet gun, it just destroys the inside of this dome. So we don't want to do that. It's easy, no need to worry about anything. We're just going to sweep off the top here, pop this in, rivets down. Now I'm just going to start to squeeze that rivet right up until it's snug. There we are. So I can take that out and I can see it's really snug. So that dome is stuck in there good. There it goes. And the rivet just pops right out. And there's the head of the rivet, the part that does the damage. So right now that's in there good, and we're ready to carry on. So I just did the last of the domes, they're all connected, and Catherine's in there. She's putting on the, I guess they're called what, tire blinds or something? I don't know, sun protectors, tire protectors. There's my wife's covers that she made. Looking pretty good. A few more little tweaks to do to it. She wants to extend them down because when the wheels, you know, when you level these things, so when your wheels are off the ground, see that's where they don't touch, and we can't spike them down. It's no big deal, it still keeps the sun off, but still.